Jack Greeson, and we're talking today about my book, The Spirit Within Us, a saga of two bold families who helped build a democracy. In our first video in this series, we studied about Niels Steinarsson, Chapter 1. Now we're going to study Endre Pederson, Chapter 2. If you look on Roman numeral page 4 of your book, you'll see Endre Pederson at the top left of the page. Chapter 2 starts on page 45. It starts depiction of what's going on in northern Norway about 1595. First, we're going to read about Endre Pederson learning about his environment from his father. On page 48, 23-year-old Endre is working in a harbor in Bergen, Norway. A young woman notices him and becomes interested. I'm going to read you a section from page 48, which takes place in Bergen Harbor in Bergen, Norway. Turning the corner, Marit noticed a handsome young man loading one of the ships. He was tall and sparse, but muscular. A more rectangular face capped with copper cinnamon hair highlighted by a rather barbaric beard exhibiting the same character. Observing more closely, she noted that he worked in an organized fashion, not joking or playing around like the others. He seemed to be a serious, hard-working man, and that captured her attention. And now she's interested in this young man. The two adeptly managed to greet each other and start a conversation. You know where this is going, don't you? On page 52, we see that the two are married. The subhead for this part of the chapter is 1612, Bjorke farm near Lesja, Uppland, Norway. And I'll read some of the passage for you. Endre Pederson had finally reached his lifelong goal, his lifelong wish. Now Bjorke farm was his. He loved his life on the farm. Almost every day he fished in Lesja Kogsnatnet Lake. He hunted reindeer and rabbits. Wow.
I am glad you are home safely.
There is no place I would rather be.
Later, however, one day foreign mercenaries invaded their homeland into the valley where they lived. The mercenaries' goal was to take over the country and its supplies. There was no Norwegian army to protect the locals, as it was overseas in Sweden fighting a war. Upon the mercenaries' arrival, a local young woman threatened them. On page 61, we see that she states, "Your march will come to a deadly end." Did Thor protect them? Was her threat fulfilled? During this later time, Endre and his family had been facing hardships, crop failures, near famine due to the icy extreme cold. Now they heard terrifying tales of foreign mercenaries who had crossed the north of their country, raping, ravaging, pillaging, and burning all in their path. Endre and his wife Marit had discussed the option of moving. I'm going to read you a section from page 58. Endre pondered. I can't give in. I am the husband and the father. I must take care of her and the children, the farm, and honor my ancestors. Marit looked up, and her hands instinctively stopped moving. She recognized those sad eyes, and his hands carrying just the crossbow. He brought nothing else home. Yet another day without any success hunting. Then it got worse. The local Norwegians had all heard the tales of the recent mercenary army who had crossed Norway further up north as they marched toward Sweden. Those few Norwegians who had escaped had broadcast the raping, plundering, burning, and murdering by those mercenaries. They were in abject terror when they heard that yet another Swedish mercenary army was upon them. How did this tiny group of rural Norwegians deal with this catastrophe? Did the family survive? Real stories, real lives, real ancestors. You can read about it all in the book. Now, to give you an overview, I'm going to read to you from the introduction to the book, The Spirit Within Us. This is on pages Roman numeral 1 and 2. And I quote, "History is a strange, fluid, fictional mixture of everyday events which are perceived uniquely depending upon their effect on the beholder. It plods on its slow and murky path only later to be molded into some shape and form by the always prejudiced artistic portrayer, sometimes scrawled on a cave wall, oftentimes regaled in tales told over the glowing embers of a wintry evening, rarely depicting what was, but rather depicting what could have or should have been. And so it is that the writer-artist molds this clay into forms and shapes which give the patient reader perhaps a glimpse of, or sometimes even the essence of how ancestors breathed, hoped, loved, and died. Whether their thoughts, intentions, and hopes can be seen in this fog-shrouded mist is only a matter for conjecture." That's the end of this video series for Chapter 2. Now, next time, we will begin Chapter 3, my discussion, with Anna Teresa Helston, and we'll hear about her leaving Southampton, England, and getting on a ship called the Speedwell. That'll be interesting. I don't know if you've heard about the Speedwell, but it's a very interesting story. We'll see you then. This book portrays stories of a model for life change, recognizing danger, assessing options, making bold plans and goals, expecting and overcoming struggles and hardships, struggling and moving forward to success. They followed where the Spirit led them, and they triumphed. This YouTube video series will present brief introductions to each chapter. The book is for sale through information provided in this video series. A special paperback edition, large print, a highly readable type font, and durable white stock paper is only available from me, the author.